back to the Haunted Huddle Over Coffee. I'm Lauren,
I'm not.
I'm T.
and today we are going to be talking about the Axeman of New Orleans. He was this guy who went around and just terrorized the entire city by killing people in their sleep down in New Orleans back in the 1918s. So have you guys ever heard anything about this guy before at all, or not at all?
I have.
I don't think I
Nothing?
have.
Yeah.
Just little bits?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll start our story in May of 1918, when the very first murder takes place. It happened in the home of Joseph and Catherine Masaggio. They were Italian grocers that lived above their grocery store, which, back then that wasn't uncommon. That was something that happened constantly. But on May 23rd, they were found murdered in their bed. Their skulls had been crushed. I can't English today. Their skulls had been crushed in with an axe, and their throats were slit with a razor blade. And so the Axeman does kill a couple of people, but this is the only time we ever see him use more than one weapon and also use his own weapon. The Axeman was known for killing people with their own axe.
That was appropriate.
Yeah, right? Just focal. So, like I said, it wasn't a one-time thing. The Axeman actually goes on to attack at least a dozen more families during the next year, and people were terrified. The next attack was on a man named Louis Bessemer and his mistress, Harriet Lowe. Like the Maggios, they were attacked in their own bed behind a grocery store, and they were both left with severe injuries to their heads, but yet they both survived. So, he doesn't kill as many people as he hurts, which I know it's strange to me.
Maybe he just wanted the thrill.
Probably. But
Like
the
he's
police could
edging.
never...
Listen, some people do that. Like, psycho people and killers will do that. It's not uncommon.
And that'll fuck with you. That'll
Yeah.
live with you.
They just kill for the thrill.
Well, some killers especially, like, they'd rather not kill, and they just want their victims to sit and live with that traumatic experience.
Because if you
They
think
just
about
get
it,
off on it like the Pennywise.
well,
Mhm.
yeah, because if you think about it, death is like a one and done deal. Whereas psychological trauma, you can't exactly cure that. You have to go through rounds of therapy, rounds of psychiatry.
And even then,
There's 3 people in this chat right now that are all in therapy.
yeah. Before anybody comes at us sideways.
We are all in regular therapy.
We're still healing from our own psychological traumas.
Yeah.
So each time the Axeman actually used the weapon of the person in that house, he would use their own hatchet or their own axe or any other tools that they kept on their property. Often he would use that weapon that they would find outside the property to break open a window, chisel his way inside, go in, and beat somebody. Now what's kind of cool is in this time period, they have access to using fingerprint technology. Now, this is like 1918, 1919 that this is all happening. But he never left fingerprints, didn't leave by hair. He left by no signs of any struggle. It's almost like he was a ghost. Just popped in, killed them, and left. So, later on, we get, where is it? In March of 1919 is where he struck the Cornelia family. Charles, his wife Rosie, and their 2-year-old daughter lived behind their grocery store. This guy had a thing, though, for Italian grocers. He went after a lot of people who were, Italian grocers. So, unfortunately, Charles and Rose, they survived, but their daughter did not. She was 2. Rosie later claimed that she saw a man named Frank Gerardo standing over their bed. She accused him of being the Axeman, but the evidence was extremely thin, and because her account was so inconsistent because of her injuries, he was never tried or convicted. But this is one of the very few times that we see a murderer coming on in and bragging about his kills. He actually writes a letter to the Times on March 13th, 1919, And I'm gonna read this for you guys because this is just like the most egotistical thing. And the way that it's phrased just sounds like a Disney villain. It's the only way I can physically describe it. New Orleans. And he marks it as New Orleans. Esteemed mortal, they have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as the air that surrounds the earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a fell demon from the hottest hell. I am what you New Orleans would and you foolish policemen call the Axeman. When I see fit, I shall come again and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be, and I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, smeared with the blood and brains of whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police, but be careful not to rile me. Of course, I am a reasonable spirit and take no offense in the way that which I have been conducted in these investigations in the past. In fact, they have conducted their investigations in the past. In fact, they have been so utterly stupid as to not only amuse me, but the satanic majesty himself, Francis Joseph, etc. It gets worse! But tell them to beware. Let them try not to discover what I am, for what were better if they never knew what was born upon them, and for it to occur of the wrath of the Axeman. I don't think there's any need for such warning, but I feel that your police will always try to dodge me, as they have in the past. They were wise and know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you New Orleans think of me as a horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to. And if I wished, I could pay you all a visit into your city every night, and I could slay thousands of your best citizens, but I am in close relationship with the angel of death.
I doubt that greatly.
There's more.
Stop.
Now, to be exact.
To be exact, get out of my room, dope.
Not the gotta, please, no. Now, to be exact, at 12:15 o'clock, earthly time, and it's in parentheses, on next Tuesday night, I'm going to pass over New Orleans. In my infinite mercy, I am going to make a little proposition to the people. Here it is. I am quite fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared whose house is a band house. Wow, this is like old English almost. Whose house is a jazz band is in full swing at the time. As I have just mentioned, if everyone has a jazz band going, well, then so much for the better for the people. One thing is certain, that if some persons whose house does not bring it down with jazz on Tuesday night, and there's parentheses again, if there by any, will get the axe. As I am cold and crave the warmth, I don't know what this word is, of my native Tartarus. It's Tartarus. And as it is about to be time when I have left your earthly home, I will cease my discourse, hoping thou publish this, that it may go well within thee. I have been and am the worst spirit that will ever exist in existed in either in fact or realm of this fantasy. The Axeman.
Can I just say, I looked up Francis Joseph just out of curiosity because I had no idea who the fuck this is. This is the fucking Emperor of Hungary in 1892. Oh, I'm sorry. The picture that I'm looking at was 1892. 1848 to 1916.
That's only about 3 years from his reign that this letter's being written. But I'm sorry, just the way this guy is like, listen, play some jazz music and I'm not gonna kill you.
He sounds like a white man, I'm not gonna lie.
He probably was
a white man. No!
It's always a white man.
That should be the next sticker we make. A white man.
White
no.
man? No. But that's actually a quote from New Girl. From Schmidt, I love New Girls.
Never mind.
But tell me I'm wrong. It is always a white man that is either high on himself, narcissistic, he needs an ego death.
Listen, that's not always a white man. It's just white people.
So one thing that is probably bad about this is that New Orleans, then obviously they're going to listen to them. They're going to play some jazz music because they're like, all right, let's play some jazz music that might make us not be dead. Down to the point where they made a song about the Axeman. It's called Don't Scare Me, Papa. And the music in it goes, let's jazz it up because I'm not going to get rid of my axe. And obviously, I'm not kidding. I pinky promise. So people would say, let's jazz it up because they wanted to reclaim their love of music and get rid of the fear. I hear you vigorously typing.
Because I need to find this.
Oh no, it was the thing.
There are so many people have recently made different variations of this.
Yes, there is one of them. But listening to it, I was just like, what the hell? Like, this guy has already got an ego problem. Now you're making music about him. This is not what you need. But this is something I find very, very interesting about the Axeman and his killings. There was another attack done, and it was one of those amazing survival stories. Like I said, he attacked a lot of people, didn't kill a lot of people, though. He targeted a pregnant woman named Sarah Lumen. He broke into her house in the middle of the night, and Sarah woke up to find a dark figure standing over her. Before she could scream, she says that she felt a sharp blow of the axe and was left with severe head wounds, and she was barely clinging on to life. But she survives, and even more incredibly, she delivered her baby safely.
That's good.
Sarah's survival became resilience for the city that had been traumatized by the Axeman's attacks, showing that even in the face of horror, life could endure. And we have more killings because it's, the last attack that we have, known. The last known attack that's credited to the Axeman was in October of 1919, when the Axeman struck Mike Pepitone. He was found bludgeoned in his own home. His family's axe left beside him. After this, the Axeman vanished. It's just as suddenly as he's appeared, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and chilling memories. But yeah, the Axeman just went off and terrorized immigrants, killed people, but he loved jazz music. So if you played jazz music, he wasn't going to kill you.
So he was a white racist.
I don't know. Well, he hated mostly Italian. Italian grocers was his favorite. He just had a particular niche.
To be honest,
still racist.
But let's also be honest. New Orleans has always had something against Italians, specifically Sicilians.
Why do you think there's no good Italian restaurants down there?
There's also the fact that
never been.
A few years back that the city actually apologized to the Italian population for lynching Italians for no reason. So Italians being targeted is
so.
Yeah, but now anybody comes down and they think we're exotic. I shit you not. So
no,
you two know.
We can dive into this.
No, you two know. My sister recently married her now wife, who was born and raised in Louisiana, near New Orleans. And for the first time ever during this frickin' wedding, because I was part of the bachelor party, I met Alexis's mother. And this woman acted like I was the most exotic thing on the fucking planet. It was so uncomfortable.
Because you're Italian?
Because I'm Italian and I'm also New Yorker.
People
sorry.
People also have, and I've lived in Florida, and I know it's not New Orleans, but when I had said that I'm Italian, because my last name is very Italian, why don't you look like Jersey Shore? That was the question I got. Because I'm Italian, but I don't do the Trump thing and
I'm not trashy Italian.
Skin. Yeah, I'm not trashy Italian. I just inherited all the recessive genes. My dad has all the recessive genes. All of his siblings look like Sicilians.
And then there's my brother who looks like the most Italian. My brother has darker, he has that olive skin, dark brown hair, the dark brown eyes.
Nobody else in
Built.
your fucking household looks like that. He looks like the adopted baby you picked up on the side of the road.
Well, that's actually a joke. So my brother James and I, we have different fathers, and we always joke with James that he was found in a dumpster because my mom works in a hospital, that he was found in the dumpster by a hospital. And my mom took pity on him and brought him in, and that's why there's no pictures of my mom being pregnant with him. Is because she wasn't pregnant with him. We found him in a dumpster.
That's such a basic bitch typical thing for an older sibling to do.
But the thing is, everybody's in on it. I'm in on it. My cousin Joe, when he was with us, rest in peace, Joe, when he was with us, we were all in on it because we all used to joke because nobody in my family, and when I mean like my family, we all look like basic white bitches. We all have blonde hair, light colored eyes, very fair skin. We're short. We're hippie. James is skinny and tall and very Italian looking. So
He's very
so it was
Sicilian
very
looking.
Oh my god, yeah, he is very, very, very Sicilian looking. Because if you ask my brother, mind you, he's 14. What are you? He goes, no, I'm a pizza. He goes, I'm just pizza. But next, I do see that you pulled up actually the same one I had on file from the
It's a
squirrel
bop,
nut.
and I feel
It
awful
is.
saying that, but it's a bop.
It is a bop. I'm going to play it. This is not owned by us whatsoever. This is owned by the Squirrel Nut Zippers. Their version of the Axeman Jazz. Don't scare me, Papa. Please don't sue us. We are not claiming to own this. But
it's very good jazz. It's good party music. Come on, Tony, it's good.
No, because it sounds like something I'd hear at a Scary Godmother.
Oh my god.
Am I wrong?
That's so accurate, though.
You'd hear it, right?
Yeah.
It's a bop.
It's a Halloween bop.
It's a little snippet, but it's good.
Very good song. 10 out of 10. Recommend you guys look it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Add it to your Spotify playlists.
I already did.
I was just playing it off my iPad, and I don't have Spotify on there, but I'm going to be putting it on my main playlist. But so many people, there's really never any know of who it is. Like, there was speculation, but there was really no trial or evidence ever. Like, it really was like this guy was a phantom. So a lot of people don't know.
Did they even look for prints?
They did look for prints because prints were just becoming a thing then, which I didn't know that. I thought that was so interesting because you think like this is over 100 years ago now that they had fingerprinting, and you don't think about fingerprinting being a big thing back then.
No, but it was still new and like basically in a beta stage.
But the thing is, like, they found no fingerprints, no hair, nothing. No photos, zip, which I just found like very strange, very weird. The fact that this guy could pretty much walk around New Orleans and not get caught this many times. I will always say that I think it could have been like a ghost or a phantom, or that they possess like multiple different people.
In New Orleans,
which is probably
that really wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it's the birthplace of hoodoo and voodoo.
Oh, it's not the birthplace of hoodoo and voodoo. It's the birthplace of Americanized hoodoo and voodoo.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, we can't really say that. Anything that happens in America is Americanized. You could be Italian, but you're an Americanized Italian.
Like, I'm sorry, even if when it first, like, came over, it was traditional, somewhere along the lines, like, somebody lost it, rediscovered it, and it's just become, like, more Americanized.
Yeah, it's very true. But I definitely think it was, like, a case of maybe, like, possession or something, or this person was working with the police. It could have just been a police officer. Dirty
You never
cops.
know.
Did you just say goddamn cops?
Damn them cops.
One thing I do find really interesting, though, about the Axeman is he has gone on to inspire, like, a lot of music and a lot of, like, horror films. Like, he was also, like, used for inspiration for The Shining, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's, like, in my top 4, with the way he would bludgeon people. And he is the basis for a very popular character that I love. Alistair from Hazbin Hotel was based off of the Axeman. Loosely, but
still.
As well as he does make an appearance in American Horror Stories Coven, which I find is interesting. There's a whole episode where they read the letter in like a different sense, but I found it very interesting.
I mean, that's my favorite season of American Horror Story. It's always going to be coming.
Absolutely. You got Stevie Nicks, you got everybody. Ugh, can never do it wrong. Especially just Stevie Nicks, the goddess. But no, it's very interesting about the Axeman. Like, you have all these murders that happen. Nobody knows who did it. It was mostly just immigrants. One thing I want to know is about the baby. What happened to the baby that survived the attack? Like, Sarah's baby, like, I want to know.
It
Was the
probably
baby
went
still
on to live a normal life.
I was going to say, is the baby in the womb when it happened?
Baby
Yeah,
was
but
in the
she
womb when it
delivered him
happened.
safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that kind of thing, like, I don't know if she would ever tell her child that, like, oh yeah, hey, when you were still, like, when I was still pregnant with you, we survived an attack by a famous killer.
But like,
Don't think.
they even said that she became a symbol of resilience for the city. Like, did this baby grow up as like a celebrity?
No.
Just no.
I'll
Baby's
be
not a
honest.
celebrity.
You can be a symbol of resilience, and that will maybe last, like, maximum 5 years.
It's like a 15 minutes of fame kind of thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just found it extremely weird and chilling. Like, the Axeman's cool. Like, we know a decent amount about him, but we still have no idea. Some people think he was connected with organized crime. Some people think he was just obsessed with terrorizing immigrants. Some people think that he was a phantom. Some people think he was the devil who came to New Orleans because of whatever. Personally, I just think it was a guy who was all bonkers and just wanted to kill people.
Look,
No, I can side with the Phantom thing because, we know more about Jack the Ripper than we do about this guy.
Or my personal favorite could be alien influence.
Oh my god. It had to happen.
There's aliens. Just shape-shifting alien.
Maybe they hypnotized him, abducted him. Because people don't remember being abducted, maybe they just hypnotized him, told him, hey, this will be a fun social experiment.
Just hypnotize people into murder.
Yep.
Look, we're tiny little,
Jazz alien.
animals. Look, we're tiny little ants on this ball that we call dirt. And Earth is literally just a ball of dirt.
It's a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
That's literally what Earth means. Dirt.
I just had a good idea.
Oh no.
For a sticker. Jazz aliens.
Jazz aliens.
Well, Tony, that's your domain, so have fun with that.
All I'm gonna be able to picture right now is Star Wars, everyone there in the cantina.
Gotta have like your little Bith playing a clarinet thing. I don't know what the instruments in Star Wars are called. I love Star Wars, but like races.
I don't know.
Oh, hi Mocha. How are you doing?
But yeah, that's really all I have on the Axeman. Like I said, like we know a lot about like his killings, but like he slit one couple's throat just to make sure they were dead, and then everybody else he wasn't very good at killing. Like there's over a dozen like attacks, and maybe about 6 people actually were murdered by the Axeman. Everybody else survived.
You want to know what that makes me think?
What?
Is that one singular person murdered that couple, and then some other psychopath decided, I'm gonna use you as a fucking cover-up, and just started fucking beating the shit out of people with axes.
Like, maybe it was a girl or a guy, and they were having an affair with one of the people in the couple, and they wanted to get revenge.
Either that, or it was still just a hate crime. Who the fuck knows? Fucking hate crime, so I'm calling it a hate crime.
No, it's a hate crime.
Please don't cancel. We know it's a hate crime.
No.
I'm literally just a cinnamon roll.
That is such a bold-faced lie.
Roll. No, you're a cinnamon roll filled with arsenic.
Yep.
That's what you are.
That's a sticker idea.
Oh my god.
People who get to listen to this on Patreon, they're just like, oh my god.
There's something wrong with these three.
But that is something that I am like severely questioning. Is like, why don't we know more about the Axeman? How come we don't know who he was? We had the technology to figure out who the hell he was, but yet we didn't.
Probably just because after he stopped, nobody gave a fuck anymore.
Yeah, because Dead is dead.
So, like, we can't talk about volcanoes that way, too? Is that dirty? Are there volcanosexuals out there?
Somebody's gonna
I
come
don't
out
want
as
to
that.
know. I don't want to know. Do what you're gonna do. Whatever makes your heart happy, go ahead and do it. Just leave me out of it.
Please don't stand over a volcano and wait for it to.
You will die. Do not stand over a volcano like that. Please don't do that.
This is the definition of people who have a death wish.
Coffee?
Death wish, I love you.
I'm still so sad that I left my death wish at your house.
I will bring it up.
Which flavor death wish did you get?
Peppermint mocha.
Something I cannot have, being allergic to the chocolate.
I know, we've had this conversation.
That's a sad existence.
It's not that bad.
No, you want to know what's a really sad existence? I have a friend. She's very Italian. Very, very Italian. Last name is Italian as Tony's.
Okay.
And she has celiac disease. And for anybody who doesn't know what celiac disease is you can't have gluten.
That's also a sad existence. I mean, they're getting better with their gluten-free stuff, but that's still sad.
Well, my other brother, David, does have celiac disease.
Yeah, but you guys aren't, like, Italian.
Or German. Well, we're American, but you know what I mean.
I mean, y'all should just, like, start eating sauerkraut.
I do eat sauerkraut right out of the jar.
I love the way that this bitch goes, oh, good German. Majority of this fucking state is somehow Italian.
I was gonna say, it's like New York and New Jersey are like the Italian infestation.
They wanted to get far away from the Axeman down in New Orleans.
They
just wanted to
kill all the Italians.
They just wanted to get away from New Orleans.
Look,
they're like, oh,
I can at least say,
they're like, ugh, fuck jazz, fuck New Orleans, fuck the Axeman killer.
Look, I could say this,
Going to
right?
New York.
My great-grandparents immigrated
the
over.
new.
They went through Ellis Island, and then they immediately went to New Jersey. My grandfather was born in New Jersey. And then they left and moved to the South to live in North Carolina, and then just, bounced around between North Carolina and Florida. They went south, but they didn't go quite as south.
Because they were scared of the Axeman coming back to New Orleans.
No, because my great-grandmother referred to all men as son of a bitches.
I love that.
All men, except for men in the family, were son of a bitches.
No.
Son of a. Could you pronounce it? How did you do it again?
Son of a bitches. Son of a bitches.
Son of a bitches. Not son of a bitches, just son of a.
She also acted like she was royalty too, because she was treated like she was a princess in Sicily. So like that kind of like came over.
Listen, it's very hard to go from feeling like a princess to not a princess anymore.
No, my grandfather hated going in her room because this woman had like pink wall. I think this is where my love of pink comes from. She had pink walls, pink roses.
It's hereditary.
Look, I really wish I could have met her because she actually got to hold me because she outlived my grandfather. But she got to hold me. And the first thing she saw, or she couldn't see like what I looked like, but she could feel like my hair. She's like, she has Anthony's like curly hair. I can't remember my grandfather's name. I'm sorry. I think it was Anthony. I'm pretty sure it was Anthony.
That's an Italian name. We'll just stick with it.
Various. Hey,
it's either
Tony.
Anthony or Joseph.
Especially with your last name. Just Tony, your last name. It's like, yo, Tony.
I'm really glad, right? That like, anyways, like she's like, she has your dad's hair, and she's just this, that, and the other thing. But then, she didn't live long after I was born. Sad to say.
She literally just made it to see her grandchild.
It wasn't even the first grandchild either, because,
Doesn't matter. It was the important one.
It was the important one. Because she never got to meet my grandfather, or she never got to meet my brother, never got to meet my sister, because they came later in the 90s.
Meanwhile, in the 90s.
Was your sister even a 90s baby?
Huh? What?
I said, was your sister even a 90s baby?
99.
Oh.
December of 99. She just barely hit that line.
Does not count.
It does count.
It does
in that
count.
Awkward stage.
I have like 3 cousins that were born, like 2 born before 2000. They were both in December of 99, and then the other one was January of 2000.
So your sister is actually older than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's hysterical.
I was born in 97, and I don't consider myself a 90s kid. I consider myself like that weird mush. I was 3
Uh,
at the peak of the 90s.
My brother is a 97 baby too, but he considers himself a 90s baby.
I am just like in between like millennial and Gen Z, and I'm just like, listen, I got the best of both worlds. I got to grow with some technology, but still play it outside. I grew up in like peak, this peak. Very happy about it. Delicious.
But yeah, I know I was also named after my great Aunt Maria, or my great Aunt Marie. That's where my middle name comes from. I know it's like the most basic white girl middle name that you can find, but
No, because my sister has a meaningful name. She was named after my grandfather. And before anybody comes sideways, her name is Ashley. It's a unisex name. She was named after my mom's dad. And then
aww.
my dead name just came from somebody that my dad worked with because he thought her name was pretty.
Listen,
And when I found that out, I literally went, that's not even like a meaningful name. He just liked the name, which was cute and it was sweet. But like, I'm like, Ashley gets to be named after Pop, but I'm named after Dad's old coworker.
I'm named after a black R&B singer. Well, an R&B singer. She's Lauryn Hill Black, yeah.
That's hysterical.
My mom really liked Lauryn Hill, so that's why my name is spelled the way it is.
Mm.
And then they couldn't agree on my first name, so then they gave me 2 first names and a middle name.
Ashley. I have
That's
no
also
idea what
like
your middle name is.
What?
I think Lauren Ashley and then your last name is enough.
No, they gave me a middle name.
Really?
My name does not fit on most documents. Most of the time when they go, make sure this appears exactly how it appears in your license, I'm like, I need 4 more spaces. They go, what? And I'm like, I need 4 more spaces, please. And they go, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, but you said exactly. And they go, well, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. And I'm like, okay.
Make up your minds.
I'm glad that my parents loved me enough to not name me Emily.
It's okay, my name was almost Alyssa.
I would have just sat there like, they were going to name me Anthony because they were in fact going to name me after my grandfather, but then like, because they were told I was going to be a boy, popped out a girl, and they're like, we're just going to name me Tony. And and now I'm like, thank God you didn't name me Emily, because I'm sorry, I hate the name Emily, and most Emilys are kind of bitchy or self-absorbed.
You talked to my friend.
Yeah, but she's nice. She's like the rare occurrence.
She's the exception to the rule.
She is the exception to the rule.
She's sitting here making fucking COD fan fictions like the dork that she is. She's just here for a good vibe.
Look, I love that. I love that. Keep doing that.
We need more people like that in the world.
We need more Emilys like that.
All right, so I think that wraps up pretty much this episode of the Haunted Huddle. Thank you for joining us. I hope you guys really enjoyed our banter, as well as, aliens or demons or just a bunch of people or cops killing people and claiming all to be the Axeman. And I will say one thing, though, like, whoever wrote this letter, like, just the way it was phrased out,
you need to get grammar, please.
A little bit.
Get better grammar.
And also, you probably inspired a lot of Disney villains. Probably a lot.
Disney villains with better grammar.
Yeah. The foolish mortals.
At least it's not like medieval times English that this was written in, because could you imagine having to decipher that?
It would have been the bee's knees if you would have just played a little bit of jazz, and I won't come on in there and butcher you all on in.
We need someone who could really do the transatlantic accent.
I want to learn how to do the transatlantic accent. I don't know what it is, but I love it.
Well, being at the fact that you couldn't even say Atlantic properly just now.
Atlantic.
No, you said Atlantic. You should put an extra C in there for no reason.
Atlantic. It's just as bad as people putting K in my last name. So it sounds so. I must have been told it's a very nice German name. I had to do a double take.
If somebody in this call that has a German last name, and then the two
Lauren
sitting here.
It's Lauren. Lauren's got the German last name.
My last name is. Listen, my last name in Germany is just about as common as like Smith is here in America.
Do you want to know what's funny? Last names like yours, people don't think is like something like German.
No.
Because they can pronounce it, and that's the only thing I'm going to say about that topic.
Well, because it's been Americanized. It's not supposed to be pronounced the way that it's pronounced.
I still don't think about it like that.
I had a teacher. She was my illustration teacher in college, but her last name was German, and she actually did study in German for a little bit, but she took a coding class in German. She's like, you realize how much they yell at you, and they're not even yelling at you?
Very aggressive language, okay? It's like Russian.
Remember, tell your friends you love them because life is short, but also yell it at them in German because life is also terrifying.
All right, guys. Well, share this with somebody else who you think might enjoy listening to it. So until then, please be safe, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.